So here I am at translator.microsoft.com, and this is a really useful site. It has a number of different translation tools based on different scenarios, but the main one that I think of for this website is as a teacher, I can start a conversation, and then I give a code to my students, and I can speak in one language, and when they join, they can choose which language they want to see the translation of my transcript of everything that I'm saying on their screen. Also works, English to English, so you could do it the same language if they just want to see that and be able to save what you have said. So I'm going to go ahead and log in using my Office 365 accounts, and I'm not going to check that I'm using this in the classroom for this use, but I'm going to go ahead and enter. And what this does is it creates a session, and this code goes with this session. So anybody who, if I'm sharing my screen and doing this virtually, you could use a screen reader here. I could copy this and paste it into the chat in a Microsoft Teams meeting. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to go to a different account here. You can see I've been messing around with this a little bit. So here's my newest one. So this is the session that I have just launched. And so if I was a student, again, I could just do this right inside of this app, and right here on my screen I would have what the teacher says. If it's a two-way conversation, it would show what I say, and mine would all appear in whatever language I choose. And for my teacher, anything that I say back to them would appear in their language of choice as well. So you can do a lot of things directly here on the translator.microsoft.com app. But the nice thing about doing this in OneNote is it really changes the way you take notes. If you think about, I think particularly in college, as a professor would lecture, I thought my goal was to write down as much of what they said as possible, and I would try not to miss anything. And you don't really have a chance to think about what they're saying when you're focusing on getting everything they're saying written down. So this really changes the whole game here. So I'm going to click on Live Caption, and I'm going to take that code right there, that join code, and type it in here. And I am going to leave it in English. I'm going to click Join. And when I come back to a session here, it says, hey, Matthew, you have company. Somebody has joined. Now, I didn't join it through the app here where it asks for your name, so it doesn't have a name here. It just says, there's a participant there. All right, so I'm going to start by just leaving it in this non-presenter mode where I must press the space bar in order to speak, and I'm still holding the space bar, and as soon as I let go of the space bar, it stops transcribing what I say. So that's one option. And then since this is designed to be two-way, if my students were also logged into this app, they could also press the space bar and speak here as well. But I'm going to switch to presenter mode because that's not how we're using this. I'm not using this for a two-way conversation. I'm using this just to broadcast to their OneNote. And so now I'm not pressing the space bar at all. The presenter mode lets you just keep on talking, and it keeps on transcribing. So let's see what that looks like back in OneNote. And here we go. Back in OneNote, it is keeping track of everything that I say. And as a student, maybe I want to pause to highlight something. I can highlight as I go, or, whoops, that was more than I wanted to do. So now I'm falling behind. So I can click pause here because I'm not listening to my instructor at the moment. I'm busy trying to figure out what I did wrong here. And okay, so now I can go back here and just highlight the part that I wanted to highlight. So let's choose that color again. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. And I can keep on talking, and I can switch to a different color for a different purpose. And now that I'm all caught up, I can click resume, and I didn't miss anything that my teacher said. It just paused it from appearing here, but everything that you'll see here is also here. So pause just, it doesn't make you miss anything. It just pauses it from appearing here in the transcript. So this kind of changes everything about the way you take notes. Now instead of me trying to get down everything that my professor said, I can just type what I think is important, or I can draw and illustrate, and I can use my stylus, and I can take notes my way and not have to worry about getting everything. Well, what do you mean not worry about getting everything? Well, it says right here, caption transcripts are saved. So you can turn that on or off as an automatic So if you don't want to automatically save transcripts, you could toggle that off. But if I'm going to use this feature, I'm going to go ahead and automatically save everything. Okay. And you might be wondering, well, where does that happen? Well, let's go ahead back to conversation here, and when I go to exit, it asks if I want to save the transcript. So built into translator.microsoft.com, you can save the transcript and it will download it. So I can go ahead and do that. But I've now left the session. So the session is over. Come back over to here, and you see it is no longer transcribing. And I can join a new one, but if that's ended, then essentially I'm done. So where is this? Well, there's a new tab over here. So notice that on the left-hand side, I have a section now called Transcripts, and they don't appear instantly. They do take a little while to process. So this is one that I recorded a few minutes ago. This is another one from a few minutes ago, and this is the one that I just recorded. You can see it's not available yet. Just give it a few minutes to process, and the transcript of everything that my instructor said will be available right there. And if I want to grab that from this separate transcript page and bring it to the page where I was taking notes, I can just copy and paste it like so. Okay, so that was in English. As you can imagine, we could do the same sort of thing in another language. I would continue to speak in English, and this time we'll have a new join code. Let's grab that, and let's go to a clean page. Paste that here, and I'm going to try pasting that whole URL in here, and no, it doesn't like that, so we'll go ahead and just type it. And this time I'm going to change my captions to Korean. I'm going to click join and head back over here and turn on presenter mode. So I do not speak Korean, so I really have no idea how well this is doing, but I have switched to Korean and I'm still speaking in English. And you can see back on my page, it's recording everything that I'm saying in English, except that it missed some of my words here. So how well it translates is dependent, of course, on how well it hears what you say in the correct language. So already I can see right here and right here, it didn't get everything I said correctly because I was not speaking clearly enough in English. So naturally that's going to cause a glitch here in the Korean. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click pause, and I'm going to come back over here, turn this off, and let's go ahead back over here. It is saved in Korean. If I click over on my transcripts, we'll see that previous one is ready now. So that took about 3 minutes for that one to save. So I guess it'll be about 3 minutes for my Korean to appear. So we'll pause right here and start back up when that's saved. All right, so here we have that transcript in Korean, and I can click and drag over that to copy it. I can bring it back to the page where I was taking those notes, and I can paste it right in here. That way the transcript of what my teacher was saying is in context of the rest of my notes as well, like it was here in English. So regardless of what language your instructor is speaking in and what language you want to see this appear in, you're able to save those into OneNote in about 70 different languages. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe down below. And if you're looking for more ways to reach your students during remote, hybrid, face-to-face, or even concurrent teaching, check out my book, All the Microsoft Tools You Need to Transform Your Classroom.